Whenever we start talking about teaching generative AI, I feel like the conversation immediately moves to where people assuming that we need to teach people how to build models and how to train models, and that we need to go train our own models. And I think we need to take a step back from this and really look at where is the opportunity in this space. And my belief is that the real winners in generative AI are the interdisciplinary innovators, the ones that go and figure out how to harness it in all the different domains. And that's where each individual institution really has an opportunity, is to think differently about how to do that, rather than rushing to teach how do we create and train these models and believe that's what it is, which is inherently going to limit this information to a much smaller population of students and faculty and staff that are interested in that. And the reality is that unless you are an incredibly sophisticated, well-resourced institution, you are not going to be able to build your own models in most cases that are competitive with what is out in the world. There are a select number of institutions that will be able to do that. But if you think about it, Meta just released Llama 3 when I recorded this video, and supposedly spent $100 million on that model. And will that model be state-of-the-art next year? I don't think so. And Bloomberg went and they said, well, we have special data. And so I think they spent $10 million taking their financial data and training a custom model that from day one wasn't as good as GPT-4. And so it's going to be extraordinarily hard to be one of these model builders, partially because it's so capital intensive, but also because there's not that many places that are going to be doing it. And because there's not many places that are going to be doing it, they're going to be focusing their resources on a small number of extremely talented, highly educated people to do that model building. Because getting access to those compute resources and those huge investments, those are going to be put behind a small number of people's really phenomenal ideas. But that means that the labor pool for people that know how to train and create the models is going to be much, much smaller than the interdisciplinary labor pool that knows how to go and be innovative users of generative AI, of how to take all of the principles from their domains and go and do really innovative, exciting things. There is going to be a tremendous demand for those people who can go across all the different disciplines, go and reshape how things are done with generative AI. And so as an institution, I would encourage you to think about not just going and offering additional advanced classes that cater to a very small percentage of the population on campus, but instead thinking about those education offerings that hit the top of the funnel, that allow you to create those interdisciplinary innovators who are going to go across all kinds of disciplines and transform what's done. Now, there's going to be programmers too who are going to program and build generative AI systems, and there's going to be huge demand for them. But if you really look at the biggest part of the funnel, where we're going to see so much demand and so much opportunity, it's at the top. It's that interdisciplinary approach where we think about teaching people fundamental skills like prompt engineering. And what is prompt engineering, and how do we use it? How do we solve problems with generative AI? How do we converse with AI and use it to do interesting, exciting things and understand it from that perspective in order to go and innovate? And so that's where I would encourage you to focus, but it's also the most inclusive bucket. When we start thinking about where are we going to get our most bang for our buck on campus, it's by teaching people really innovative ways of using it and solving problems with it and using it to augment what they're doing. That is going to be something that we can teach to everybody and be inclusive of everybody. And so if we're going to invest resources, we're going to get the most bang for our buck at the top of the funnel. Some institutions will have the resources to put enormous resources at the bottom of the funnel, and they'll be able to produce those people, but most places are not going to be able to do that. And so I would encourage you to provide lots and lots of resources in the most inclusive way at the top, where you can go and equip everybody across all disciplines to go and be innovators and to go and transform what we are going to be able to do as a society based on all these new capabilities.